Good evening, guys. Welcome to our Thursday night live. I know you're not used to seeing me at 7:15 on Thursday night because usually this is worship right now. If you're just tuning in, not familiar with how we flow every Thursday night, it's our Thursday night Bible study. But we kick off with worship, and then I come after worship, and we go into the Word of God. But tonight, it's a little different. We've been in a series titled Pressure. And I believe, and most of us here on this panel, and most of us in America probably understand that we believe that with school beginning, and now we're doing something new, this virtual school. Of course, yeah, we tried it in the spring, but I think now it's a little more formalized. And I think there's a pressure that's going to come from that, not only in administration, not only from the teacher's perspective and standpoint, but also from the parents and also the kids. So with that in mind, we wanted to figure out what can we do to kind of help ease the stress and the pressure in the home. So I decided to connect with our educators here at our church and say, hey, can we come up with some strategies? Can we come up with some tools that you guys believe could really help somebody like me as a dad out? Because you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm in week 3. For some of you, your kids they haven't started yet. It's gonna be next week before they have their first week. But I'm in week 3, and I quit day 1, the first day. You know, the first day, me and my kid had an argument about something that was going on Zoom in her assignment, and I was like, I'm done. You know, you're going back to school when they open up, and I'm gonna put some oil on you, and I'm just gonna plead the blood of Jesus, and I hope that He protects you. No, I'm not playing, but I am playing. But seriously though, listen, it's been a very, very intriguing 3 weeks. So I definitely believe if you have not started yet, the tools that they have collectively come up with, not me, I'm just a mom, I'm just a dad, but these are actual teachers and educators in the school system that I believe the tools that they've come up with on today are really going to help us. And we've titled today Strategies to Excel in Virtual Learning. Strategies to excel in virtual learning. And they are very, very simple, yet I believe they're truly impactful. All right. So first, let's introduce our panel on today. They can tell us who they are and what they specialize in. We'll start over here.
My name is Janisha King, and I specialize in middle school math.
My name is Janae Boware, and I specialize in special education.
My name is Cherie Brown, and I specialize in middle school science.
My name is Shaquille Spearman. I specialize in 8th grade math.
My name is Catherine Williams, and I specialize in special education.
Special education. Come on, in the feed, just put your hands together, put the little clap emojis, the hands up for our educators, not just here who are on this panel, but all across the world. Listen, we are praying for you guys. We appreciate you guys. Listen, I apologize for every mean, ignorant parent who's stressing y'all out right now because they just don't get it. Listen, we're not the only ones who's doing something new, but this is new for you guys too. And let me talk to mom and dad real quick. Listen, give these teachers, give these administrators, give these school boards a little grace right now. Listen, they're trying to write and walk out a manual at the same time. I know you ain't never wrote nothing in your life, but they're not only trying to write the manual, but they're trying to walk it out at the same time. Usually when they implement a new program or a system in corporate America or the type of school system, it's been tested, tried, proven, and revamped 12 times. Well, guess what? They didn't have the chance to do that this time. So let's give them a little grace. Let's give them our prayers. Let's give them our patience, spirit, as they try to navigate. Because I truly believe one thing. I believe that the administrators, the school boards, the majority of them want to have a successful school year. I believe that the teachers, the counselors, the principals, assistant principals, I truly believe that most of them, the majority of them, truly want to have a successful year. And I believe that as parents and our children, the majority of us want to have a successful school year. So if we all want the same thing, I think we can truly achieve that goal if we all work together as one unit. All right, so y'all ready to go? So they collectively, these educators, They collectively came up with 8. Stay with us on tonight. They came up with 8 strategies to excel in virtual learning. I'm just a facilitator on tonight. These experts, they're going to give us what they gave us. Number 1, they gave us the first strategy was implement a morning routine. If you want to have a successful year with your kid along with virtual learning, the first suggestion they give as far as a strategy to excel is implement a morning routine. Let's talk about that. What we got? Y'all came up with this. Tell me, let's talk about this first one.
I mean, implementing a morning routine. I believe it's important, and I've started my morning routine with my kids because I wanted them to get ready mentally and physically for the day. Like, you got to think about, okay, when you wake up in the morning, you're a little sluggish. It's hard for you to get up out the bed. It's hard for you to do anything. So sometimes you hop in the shower just to wake up. What about the kids? They're feeling the same thing you're feeling. So if you're feeling that, why not do it with the kids? So the morning routine that I have for my kids is they wake up, brush your teeth, wash your face, put some clothes on. And the reason why I tell them to put clothes on, because you dress for success. You look good, you feel good, you'll do good. After that, they get breakfast. And mind you, they have been doing this for the past 2 weeks. I've been waking them up at 7 o'clock in the morning for 2 weeks just so they can get in a routine. By 8 o'clock, they're ready to sit down and get ready for school. So I feel like it's important because it helps them get ready mentally and physically for the school day.
That's good. That's good.
And also, you want them to be prepared for when they actually go back to school. So you don't want them to start out, just sluggish or anything. You want them to already have a routine so when school actually starts back, they can be ready for success.
That's
Absolutely. I do agree with that. I tell my students all the time, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So the smoother.
Hold on. They need say that for the people in the balcony because that's not a point that AV got, right? Okay, so we need to make sure that our social media people put that in the feed. Say that one more time for the people in the balcony. Okay. Say it slow.
Proper preparation.
Hold on. Proper preparation
prevents
poor
performance.
Boy, look at that alliteration right there.
Absolutely.
Alliteration. Go ahead on. All right,
Yeah,
go ahead.
so anything that's is going to be productive, the transitioning needs to be smoother or needs to be smooth. So if they get up and go straight into learning, their mind's not geared up. So it's really important and it's pivotal for all students to start an early routine. So what Ms. King was saying, having them to get up and start their day with a shower, breakfast, whatever the case may be, whatever routine looks like for you, that needs to be really, really emphasized. Whatever it looks like for you, getting up and transitioning well into learning.
Good. So it basically sounds like, you know what, if we think that our kids are going to be successful, school starts at 8 and they're going to jump up at 7:50, we're going to run in there and say, get up, school started 10 minutes, they got to get on, they can log on. Now, let's be honest, for those of us who've been working from home, we get on these meetings, and if we got one of those first AM meetings and we try to wait to the last minute, it ain't right. Our mind is not there when we try to jump on and knowing that we was rushing. I got 10 minutes to get on this Zoom call. I ain't brushed my teeth or did nothing. It just ain't right. So again, like she was saying, if it's not effective for us, how can it be truly effective for our children? I think that they should not only have a morning routine, but the night. You know, for my daughter, she got to get her clothes ready at night. And you, like, again, it may seem like that's a little extra because they're at home. But like Janisha said, I'm thinking about the fact that at some point she's going to go back to school. Why not build the habits now so that when they do open up the doors, then it's like no big deal. The only transition is instead of being in your seat, you got to be in the seat in the car because everything else will already be set in stone. Anybody else want to touch on that? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say it's also important to establish a healthy mood in the morning. Maybe play some type of music, maybe write down positive affirmations in the area, but just to set a morning mood that's positive, I think that's important too because it brings the children into a day of, positive. They're ready to start the day. They're not like, oh, I'm waking up, I don't want to go to school. It's like, okay, I got this, and they need that affirmation.
Right. Let's deal a little bit more with that. And she specializes also. She's finishing her degree plan in mental health. What are you getting your?
Marriage family therapy.
Marriage and family therapy. So she comes from a different perspective that most of us probably would come from. So basically what you're saying is it's not a good thing to be cussing your kids out, trying to get them up and getting ready for school. That doesn't help that first period, that homeroom teacher, huh?
Absolutely not. No, it doesn't help. But also, that you have to think as a parent, what is my mood that morning too? Because it's going to affect your kids. If you wake up in a bad mood, that's obviously going to overflow into your children too. So, just do a self-check in the morning. Like, where am I at? Where do I want my kids today?
Yeah, that's good. All right, so the first strategy to excel in virtual learning that these educators came up with was implement a morning routine. Listen, if you got any questions that you want these educators to answer, we'll answer them at the end. Go ahead, put them in the feed now. We have someone monitoring our social media activity, and they'll send us the questions, and we can get to those questions at the end if you have anything you want to hear their perspective on anything. All right, number 2, the second strategy to excel in virtual learning that they came up with was reinforce daily expectations. Number 2, say it again for the people in the balcony, reinforce daily expectations. What's that all about?
So I'll go on this one. I think reinforcing daily expectations is very important. The teacher is going to have expectations for the student in the classroom, but I think it's also important for the parent to have expectations. I think it goes hand in hand with like the daily routine. So once they get up, get their day started, when they sit down at the computer, what does that look like for them? What are some different goals that you have set for them besides what the teacher has? I think it also, with daily expectations, it helps the child work harder. I think when it comes to, if I know my mom has an expectation for me, I'm going to try to meet that goal. I think that's just with anybody in life. If you have an expectation or you have a goal that you're trying to meet, every day you're going to work harder to do that. Also with just behavioral expectations, how is your child going to act when the teacher is teaching in the Zoom classroom? Make sure you create boundaries for them. Make sure that they have the supplies that they need and all that stuff. What does a bathroom break look like? If they have to go to the bathroom, the teacher might have an expectation. But also, if you want to set another expectation on what does that look like, or water or snacks or stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's
I think
good.
daily expectation is very, very important.
Yeah, that's good, and I think as parents, we don't think about that, because I didn't. Again, being the fact that my daughter, this is her 3rd week, I can tell you all of the failure that I've made, because I haven't lived up to any of these these things yet, and the expectations was definitely not something that I set, and I'm still, even 3 weeks now, I'm trying to reinforce things that, man, if I had put that in place day 1, I probably wouldn't have to be fussing so much in the middle of the day, because I'm still saying every day, what you doing out here? Why you out here? Y'all on break? No. Get back in that seat. All right? That's one of my expectations. Now, you don't get up when you at school whenever you want to. What are you opening the door asking me about something you just heard me and your mom just say in the middle of class, right? We need to expect. It's going to make it easier for the teacher. And I'll say this too before y'all finish on that. I walked in the room. I walk in there periodically. And I walked in there probably the end of that first week and just kind of see what the flow was, how they were doing. And when I walked in there, it was after my daughter had walked out. So the teacher's teaching, my daughter walks out. I got to walk her back in there. Then I look on the screen to see what's going on. I see 2 kids sleep in the bed. I see another kid or 2 kids laying down in the bed watching it, and then I see another one laying down on the couch. They under covers, y'all. They under covers watching, okay? And then another kid was putting the camera on and off, okay? Putting the camera on and off, and I'm like, how in the world? We gotta help these teachers out, and I think this reinforcing daily expectation is going to help the teachers out. 5 or 6 kids who don't have any expectation from their parents could probably ruin a whole entire class. All right?
It really can. And
Go ahead.
Now you can go ahead. I'll go after.
just to piggyback off that, the reinforcing expectations. If you have smaller children like I have a 1st grader now. She'll be in 1st grade on the first day of school. The teachers use incentives to provide or to provoke good behavior. So one thing that I'm doing as a parent is, hey, if you sit here for 2 hours, I'll give you a chance. She likes to draw and cut outfits. I give you 20 minutes in your specials time to make 3 outfits. That is an incentive that I am providing for my child, but I really believe it's up to you and how your child is, and it will help them, and it gives them something to look forward to after sitting there for 2 hours not doing anything at the age of 6 years old. So
Yeah, that's good. So I guess that works a whole lot better than me just saying, you better sit in that seat or you're going to be working at McDonald's when you're 50, because that ain't work. All right, go ahead.
I would also add that parents, you can model expectations for your child as well. So, you know, if you're working from home also and both of y'all are sitting maybe at the table together and, you know, you're paying attention to your Zoom call, whatever you're doing, if you're modeling those expectations for your child, that will help them out tremendously, I feel, as well.
Now, we just lost 10 people right there. You getting in grown folks' business. It's about the kids, No, just playing. Go ahead. Anybody on that? Reinforce daily expectations, all right? So that's our second one. What's our third strategy to excel in virtual learning? Demonstrate a parental-teacher united front. Demonstrate a parental-teacher united front. What's that about?
It's really important for the parents to establish a flourishing relationship with the teacher from the beginning. I know that you know, you may have a history with teachers that may have had some type of, you have a negative maybe thought of teaching or teachers, but you know, it's important to come into the relationship without that bias, you know what I mean? That's on both sides, teacher and parent. You know, we have to work together. It's a partnership, and it really does take a village for these kids to be raised up to be their best potential, their best at their best potentials. So that relationship is very important to be established in the beginning.
That's good.
And I just wanted to backdoor on that and say, when you are on like a united front with the teacher, parents, when you're on the united front with the teacher, you're backing up the expectation for the teacher. The students then say, okay, so if my mom says I can't do it and my teacher says I can't do it, then I really shouldn't be doing it. And it just provides them the foundation of discipline and just self-starting and self-finishing tasks that are provided virtually. So I really feel like that's why that's important as well.
I was just going to say, having that relationship with the teacher as a parent, you can know where your child is academically. You can know if they're struggling. You can know if they're, you know, can go to the next level because they are above the grade level. Just having that relationship, you can learn more about your child academically than you do if you don't have a relationship with it.
Absolutely. I'm just going to piggyback off of her. Establishing that relationship and understanding that it's critical each year that you're heavily involved, not only this year, just each year, because if your child actually passes, they'll never have to repeat that grade again. So it's critical that you really push your child each year, because once third grade is over and they get the bare minimum, that bare minimum is going to go to fourth grade, and then it's going to be more barriers for that fourth grade content to come in and for them to soak in, and then it's going to be fifth grade, then it's going to be sixth grade, and then by the time you look up, they're struggling severely in high school because of that 1 year. So it's really, really critical this year because this is a new platform. Everything is online, and even college students is having issues with learning online. So just imagine if you have a third grader and fourth grader and they never been introduced to multiplication or division. You know, and we've been in college before. We understand the difficulty of online learning, and we had all of that prior learning, and it still was difficult for us at 18, 19, 20, 21. So just imagine at 8 and 9 years old what they're going through mentally to try to bring all of this together. A new environment is totally outside of traditional learning. It's just really stressful for them at this moment.
Yeah.
I'll piggyback off of that and just say kind of when the parent and the teacher are on the same page, when the student does something good, they get double the praise. They get it from their teacher and from their parent as well.
That's good. That's good.
And I think that's important because all of this is so new for everybody.
Absolutely.
And so it brings fear on with all of this stuff that's happening and going on. It's you kind of want to withdraw a little bit because you don't know how to do it or you don't know what's going on. So I feel like with the teacher and the parent being on the same page, it's good because if the student does something well, their mom sees it, their teacher sees it, and they want to continue to go back and learn and want more.
And parents, don't be afraid Don't be afraid to contact the teacher.
Please.
I know our district legally gives us 24 hours to respond, but if the teacher hasn't responded 24 hours, contact them again. And then if they haven't responded again, then CC the principal. The reason why I say that is because at the end of the day, you are the advocate for your child, and you are
Yeah.
the one, your child is your child, and you want your child to be successful. So make sure that you are contacting the teacher. And I have parents, the parents that do contact me the most are the ones that I have a strong relationship with. And yes, sometimes they do get on my nerves, but at the end of the day, at the end of the school year, I see the benefits of them getting on my nerves. And I am that parent. So as the teacher, I am also that parent, and the teacher will know, hey, how's my child doing? And I will contact them at least 3 times a week. Don't judge me. But I make sure that my children are getting everything they need educationally, mentally, and emotionally.
Make us earn that check.
No, for real. Yes.
Yeah. And you never know when you may need that relationship, because my daughter was struggling in a class last year, and I'm very familiar with the teachers. I keep that relationship tight knit, and when I called them and said, hey, we need some help to get this grade up, there was no issue at all. It was like, hey, come in. We had a parent-teacher conference, and man, a lot of things, some paper, she just gave me like a stack of paper. Here's everything your daughter failed. Go fix them, and we'll change the grade. That was based on because of the relationship that we had throughout the entire year. So,
Bonus points.
yeah, bonus points.
Bonus points, okay?
And just to kind of piggyback off what y'all are saying, you know, not to be discouraged to voice your concerns to the teacher. If there's something going on at home that you think may be impacting the way the child may be working at school, you know, tell the teacher if it's appropriate. Because sometimes, you know, we just don't know what's going on. We don't know, you know, why the student may be acting the way that they are. They may be under a lot of stress. There may be other factors that are coming into play. Just to be transparent, like when we had our condo burned down last year, you know, Jara's grades were impacted, my daughter. And so the teacher was like, what's going on? And so I told her, I was like, well, you know, we had a life-changing event happen. So thankfully, you know, the teacher worked with us. You know, she was very patient, but she would have never known if I didn't voice that. So.
Yeah.
And also, most of us, we have different class periods, or what for the higher education, the high school, you have 8 class periods with 20 students in each class. So, you know, if a parent voices that, like we try to make personal relationships with every student, but sometimes, you know, a parent emailing or calling, it will help tremendously too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the feed right now, and they'll get them to us, and then we'll look back over those questions if we have any at the end, and we'll let these educators deal with them. So if you're just now joining on, we're talking about the strategies to excel in virtual learning. These are all of our expert educators right here that they've collaborated on and came up with 8 strategies. The first one was implement a morning routine. The second one was reinforce daily expectations. We just got through with the third one, demonstrate a parental-teacher united front. And the fourth one that they came up with was maintain accountability through parental monitoring. Go on and deal with that.
You guys know your children. I know my child, she likes to play around. She likes to clown around. So just going sporadically and checking on them to make sure that they're doing what the teacher is asked or they're paying attention can help also the teacher, and it can also help you, you know, just to make sure that they are okay, they're learning something, and they're not just playing. Like Pastor said, he saw a student turning on the Zoom call on and off. It's distraction. And we want to eliminate that as much as possible.
I want to piggyback on that. My 4th grader was on a Zoom call earlier today, and he was playing with the virtual background. So that's something that I know I'm going to have to check on with him when he starts class on Monday. Whereas my 1st grader, she can check sporadically. I have 7 class periods back to back. So I'm going to be online from 7:10 to 2:10, only got a 30-minute break. So I can't get up to go check on my 1st grader. So I decided to get a baby monitor, and it's the camera baby monitor. So I'm going to be pressing the button, sit your behind down, get this work done, or what I always ask her, what are my expectations? And she's very quick to recall the expectations, and it gets her back on track. I mean, she's 6, so she's not going to sit still for an hour, but I can get a good 20 minutes. 20 minutes out of first graders. So I think that's pretty good. But just making sure you have something that works for you. She does sporadic walk-ins. I'm using a baby monitor.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let me say this real quick before you say that. I think that's a great idea because I think there's a lot of pressure and anxiety on parents who know that they have to go to work, yet their kids have to stay home with maybe a babysitter, a grandparent that they already know. Grandma don't even know nothing about Zoom, so I got to set it up, and I got to leave, and I got to hope don't nothing happen with the Wi-Fi because Granny don't know nothing about Wi-Fi. She don't even know what that. She just know it's a big black box with lights flickering on it. Maybe that's something that you need. You can go on Amazon and find some type of camera that you can put in there that's connected to Wi-Fi, and for a small fee a month. I mean, some of those things are cheap, like $5 a month, and all day long you can monitor your kid right there. And then some of them have the voice, system that goes along with it. So even while you're at work, you can have it on your phone saying, hey, sit down, just monitoring them so that you can assist, with their growth and their learning habits.
I just wanted to say for the middle school and high schoolers, emphasis on sporadic. I think as parents, and as this is from a teacher's point of view, you definitely need to hold them accountable. They're middle school and high school, they're getting at the age where they should be, kind of self-motivating themselves to do their work. And so, I recommend getting a planner or some type of calendar where they can start writing their assignments and their homework down themselves and holding themselves accountable because, after high school is college and the parent's not gonna be there anymore, so
Yeah,
put the accountability back on them too.
that's good. That's good.
And also, I would, if you have a child that just acts crazy, your child, just have them sit next to you if you are working at home.
Can you call kids crazy now? I thought we couldn't do that.
No.
No.
You can call your own kids
I'm
crazy, but you
calling
can't
my
call
own
nobody
child
else's kids crazy. All right. If your kids are what you consider not to be normal, that's a good politically correct.
Different.
They different.
Yeah, they
It's
different.
really different.
Okay, different.
They learn different.
All right. So number 4 was maintain accountability through parental monitoring. Number 5, provide a separate and designated learning area. Provide a separate and designated learning area. Tell us about that.
I think this kind of should top of the list parents because I think providing a separate space for them to learn, it gives them kind of mental separation from home and school since you're not going into school. I think it helps limit distractions because you have to be focused on what you're trying to do. And it also helps with organization. So if you have just a small corner at the house or maybe a separate room or just somewhere to know, okay, when I'm here, I'm at school, I'm focused, I'm ready to go. And when I'm here, I'm at home, I'm chilling, I'm having fun. Well, school could be fun too, but yeah.
Yeah.
Provide. You got to make it fun, but just providing an atmosphere where it's conducive for learning. I think that's very, very important when you're talking about a learning area. Any learning area is going to be a reflection of the capacity of learning as well. You can't really learn in overcrowded spaces. Some people can, but it's just important that it's more organized, it's clear. I mean, it's a small area. You don't want it too large. And it's just able for the student to say, hey, this is my space, just to piggyback off of her.
Yeah. So did we catch that, parents, of Shaquille was saying how important just the area is. So the initial strategy is just have a designated area. And then Shaquille took it a whole step further and said, how the area looks, the size of the area, is it cluttered, is it junky? All of that could determine, their ability to focus and grasp what's going on that screen right there. So that's good. Thank you for that.
Before we move on to the next topic, make sure you have these. I feel like these are very important. My kids do have a separate area, but they have passwords, a list of passwords of things that they would need to log in. I haven't finished doing this, but Janiyah will have 100 table. My daughter will have 100 table count My son will have a multiplication chart. So make sure, and all these things are free on Google. If you just Google these things, they will be provided. So make sure as you do provide this separate area, have the things that teachers use in the classroom. And if you don't know, just text the teacher, hey, what things can I put up on the wall so that my kid can be successful in math or reading or writing? So those things will help. They're called anchor charts. So make sure you just ask the teacher for anchor chart ideas, and they'll send them to you.
Okay, good. Put that in the feed. Ask the teacher
Anchor
for
charts.
anchor charts.
Supplementary
'Cause I had to
aid.
figure
Yes.
something out, because
That
day
is-
3, I was like, I'm not giving you that Zoom password no more. I should have figured that out. Why y'all gonna wait till now to tell me 3 weeks in? Y'all could have told me that before. All right.
Just to continue on to that point of having a separate learning space, I think it's important that you have your kid help design the learning space. It's going to be their
Yes.
space, so
Yeah.
make it fun for them. So if they want to put this up on the wall, or this is going to help them focus. Also have the passwords and all the school stuff, but just a little, maybe their favorite character or something like that. But just help them want to learn and make it fun, so they can design their own area.
Y'all, this is some really good stuff, y'all. This is gold, all right? Now, I get it. Everything that we talked about, honestly, as a parent, is going to take a little extra effort. But, man, we put so much effort in stuff that means nothing. Can we not put a little extra effort into making sure our kids can have a successful virtual learning experience? Yeah, just a little bit more time, a little bit more thought, and who knows what could truly happen in this awkward season that our kids are about to walk into. All right, y'all good? All right, again, if you're just now tuning in, we're talking about strategies to excel in virtual learning. The first one was implement a morning routine. Second one was reinforce daily expectations. The third one was demonstrate a parental-teacher united front. 4, maintain accountability through parental monitoring. And the last one, number 5, not the last one, but the last one we discussed, number 5, was provide a separate and designated learning area. We got 3 more, y'all, 3 more. Stay with us. This is gold, guys. Number 6 is collaborating with educational resources. Come on, somebody tell us about that. What is that? How does that look? Because that's some big words for us parents.
Collaborating with educational resources looks like being able to find different platforms to expose to your student. It was a couple of researchers you can look up at Lumen University, Idea Fund University, they're nonprofits, and it's about the extension of what's provided. Basically, when you have resources and the resources that is provided to you from the school, there's other resources such as TEKS online resource. You have access to the STAR content. If you want to see previous stars, look at the math, reading, science, etc. And it actually develops and it optimizes your learning curve for the student. So it's really, really pivotal, and it actually goes into reflection and actually retention, but that, we'll talk about that later. And it also kind of pushes into metacognition.
Hold on. Now, you can't be using 4-syllable words, metacognition, 5-syllable words for us parents. Because, break that word down for it.
So metacognition is the process of understanding your thinking. And metacognition develops soon as you come out the womb. I mean, first day. And as it builds, you're able to understand the process of your thinking. And it's 3 categories of metacognition, which is strategy, task, and knowledge. So if you understand the strategies and the different strategies that you have to apply to the content, being able to understand the task and what you need to do in order to complete the task, and your knowledge of the base or the context of the curriculum that you have to instruct or learn. So it's very pivotal that you expose your child to different resources in order to equip them to improve their metacognition.
That's good. Was you going to say something?
I was just going to kind of talk about ESL students and the importance of
Yes.
ESL students reaching
Yeah.
out to district resources.
What is EXL?
Or it's EL?
Or, yeah,
No,
English
it's
learners.
ESL. So
I
what
think
is
it changed.
Yeah, it's ELs now. I think
It's
that's
ELs now. They just
English
changed
learners.
it.
Yeah. So EL is English learners. So it's basically those students that do not have English as the primary language in their household. do not feel like you're on an island, because I believe a lot of parents out there, who don't speak English very well, they kind of feel alone by them, out there by themselves, and they kind of rely on their children to tell them what's happening in the schools. But there are resources out there, y'all. Just reach out to your district, see what those resources are, because they do differ by district, but definitely reach out. Don't feel like you're by yourself. And I know I've talked to several parents before that feel discouraged. They don't really know, they don't feel like they know what's going on, but I tell them, I'm here for you. You don't feel like you're by yourself. I'm here to see your child succeed. And our districts want the same thing. We want to see your child succeed. Just reach out. Don't feel like you're on an island out there.
And on the legal side, it's illegal to not provide those services to a student or a family that is looking for services. So, I don't want you to go, I'm going to sue the school. Don't do that. Just know that you do have rights. You have rights, and there are laws that are written for you guys that are struggling with finding resources for your area that you need help in.
Just to piggyback off of that and talk about special education, I think all my parents with students with disabilities, I think it's important that you guys know who their special education teacher is. Make sure that you have their IEPs on the first day of school.
What is an IEP?
IEP is individualized education plan for your student. And also in those R meetings, make sure that you are very vocal in those meetings so that the teachers and the principals know when they're at home, this is what they're struggling with, because we're not with them right there at home. We're with them on Zoom, so it might look a little different for us, but you're with them at the house, so make sure that you tell what they're struggling with. And also make sure that the teachers, hold the teachers accountable. Make sure that all their teachers have the IEPs, their IEP. And if they don't, then, talk to the special education department to make sure that that's out, because those students cannot get left behind during virtual learning.
Good deal. All right. So that was collaborating with educational resources. Two more. Number 7, integrate daily reflection.
Let me
Integrate daily
take a.
reflection.
That's metacognition again.
That's metacognition again.
Metacognition.
Yes, we're going to keep talking about that. They pushing
Y'all,
it
somebody
towards
put
me.
that word in the
Put
feed.
metacognition.
The first person who spell it right get a $2 gift card to Starbucks.
You ain't getting much out of that.
You gonna get some
I
ice.
getting
Some
some
ice.
ice. You can't get a venti.
A cup?
Can't get nothing.
All right.
Reflection, integrating reflection, it's pivotal. When I used to go to the store for my mom, she always used to make me repeat what I have to get for her before I go to the store, and I used to get frustrated. But it used to help me when I get back to the store. I'm like, what did I tell my mom? But reflection is so important because it's a cycle of learning, right? And everyone knows repetition is the father of learning. So if you constantly reflect over what you've learned, it actually goes better in your memory. So something being told once is not going to suffice that much unless you have a superior memory, which as you get older, it don't get better at all.
It goes away.
And it's not, and it's online platform, and you have 7th and 8th graders, 6th graders, 5th graders. They're not just going to sit up there and look at a computer and have so much fascination of the teacher talking for 30 minutes about something they don't have no idea about. So that's very, very important for not only the parents, but the teachers to continue to reflect with these kids, because it actually stores in their memory better. So it actually increases the learning capacity.
That's good.
Not only that, it also helps you build your relationship with your child. For you having open communication, some parents don't communicate with their children, so just reflecting on their day, it builds their self-esteem, and it builds a relationship with you guys too.
And not only that, it builds grace. Sometimes my daughter is very open with her behavior, so sometimes she'll say, "Mom, I was just a little bit bad today. I wasn't a whole bad today." So even with that, I'm just like, good job. Tomorrow we're gonna focus on being a whole good. That's what she calls it, a whole bad and a whole good. So I try to reflect. And then as a parent, you need to reflect too as well and see, okay, this is how this day went. How could I have prevented this, distraction, or and what can I do next to fix this distraction or whatever. So I feel like the reflection works for you as a kid, under the scholar, as well as the parent.
Just to kind of go off of what Janae was saying, how some parents don't know how to communicate to their children. Well, some children don't know how to communicate it to their parents, you know what I mean? So maybe have like a journal to where they can write down. At our school, we have an awesome a system. We use RTS, it's reciprocal teaching strategies, where we actually have the kids like write down pretty much everything they're teaching us in a journal, what they're learning. And it's so impactful because the kids sit there, they don't like it sometimes, but they sit there and they reflect on what they're learning step by step by step. And they're like, Miss Brown, this don't work. Oh, really? Well, tell me a little bit about this. And they go off, and I'm like, yeah, it is working. It may be redundant, but it's working. Just sitting down and writing down what you're thinking, how you're feeling, what you're observing during a lab is so important. So the same thing with communicating with parents. Just talk to them. Talk to them.
And parents, make your reflection creative. Don't just come in there and say, hey, tell me what you learned. I mean, build a word wall. Build a language wall, build a math wall, and say, hey, what did you learn Monday? What did you learn Tuesday? Mix it up. And it's so important because you don't want it to be so redundant to where they become quickly bored with their learning. And to create a atmosphere of a child child actually growing into being bored about learning is really destructive almost.
And I would say, it helps with retention. You can see if your student and your child, what did they learn for today? And if they cannot remember anything, we might need to come up with different strategies so that they are retaining the information. And maybe talking to the teacher, I know with some of the students that I service, maybe we need to get different accommodations and modifications in place so that it can help the student, retain the information on a daily basis.
And it is something, that retention area is something that is used on most, if not all, lesson plans. There is a reflection piece at the end. Sometimes we call it an exit ticket. Sometimes we call it reflection. So as a teacher, we have to do that in the classroom. And why not give it double for the students, and then they could double tell you what happened in school today. So
Let's help us out. Let's help me and some of the other parents out. What are 5 questions that we can keep in a rotation that at the end of the day we can ask our kids, specifically and especially for those of us who have kids that typically like to give those one-word answers? So what's 5 questions? I know this is on the cuff one right here. Okay. What are 5 questions, 5 methods of phrases that we can ask them that can engage in that conversation?
I would say, give me a vocabulary word that you learned today. Give me a word, and can you tell me what it means?
Somebody put that in the feed. Give me a word that you learned. Okay, obviously that's for the younger kids. Let's make sure we get some questions for
it's
the
for
older.
all grades, even high school.
That's right. We still learning vocabulary words in high school.
Yes.
It's been a long time. I forgot when we stopped learning vocabulary
metacognition.
words.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say
my wife can ask me that tonight. Ask me what word I learned when I get home tonight.
I would say one thing that you can ask them is, are you reaching your personal goals? Because if they don't have vision of why they're doing their work day after day, if they don't have vision, they're not going to have motivation.
I think Pastor preached a sermon on that in January on our focus, knowing your why. So that's really good.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's good. That's a good question to ask our kids. What's your why? What's your goal? What do you want to accomplish today? What you want to accomplish this week? What you want to accomplish this semester?
And
That's
for
good.
the elementary kids, I asked my daughter, what was the highest part of your day? What was the most exciting thing that you did today, or what you learned today? Instead of saying, how was your day? I say, what was great about your day? And say, well, what didn't you like about your day? Just questions like that. I do elementary, so.
Yeah.
And for my little bit bad daughter, who was just a little bit bad, I always ask her.
I thought they said kids ain't bad.
No, that's
No,
what
they're
she
not
said.
bad. They're
But
challenging.
My child calls herself a little bad. So what was a little bad, and how can we make it a little good? So just focusing on what went wrong and give me options that we can do to make it right the next time. So.
I think it's also important to ask your kids, what didn't you like? I think that's very, very
good.
important because we often push kids into, you have to do this and you have to like it, and you, no matter if you don't like it or not, you still have to do it. But if you ask them what they don't like, you can actually maneuver and kind of change like the philosophy of, if they don't like it being set up over here, you can set it up over there. Or if they don't like it going in this corner, they like this corner. Or if they don't like these colors, you know, they like the other colors. It's very important to ask your kid what you don't like about it.
That's good. And I don't have a high schooler, but do you think that by the time kids get to high school, parents kind of lay off for those reflective questions and, you know, kind
Absolutely.
of,
Yes. Yes.
Even in middle school,
Yeah,
I feel like parents.
yeah, middle school.
Because they're mature, like they're responsible, but we got to realize these kids are not emotionally mature. Like they still are developing, and they get new emotions every stage.
Talk
I'm
to
sorry.
mom and tell them that again. Tell them
They
that again.
are mature, they are responsible, but each stage, each year that they go to, they have a new emotion that they have to navigate through. And just because they are responsible, they can complete their task and they can do this, but talk to them and tell them, why are you feeling like this? Okay, so what triggered, like don't ask them what triggered this. So what happened for you to, feel like this, and just walk with them emotionally because they are developing new emotions. I teach 6th grade, so I tell my students, my parents all the time, your child is not the same child he was when he was 10 versus 11 and 12. Your child is going through puberty. He's a lot more aggressive. So that's stuff that I deal with, and you probably haven't seen it, but I see it in class. So now we got to talk to them. Why are we doing this? What can we do to have a better reaction the next time? So.
That's good right there. Go ahead. You want to say something?
And it also builds their communication skills with their peers and with you. It just helps them to communicate better. That's all I wanted to say.
Good. If you got any questions, we got one last strategy, so you can submit any questions on the feed, and if you have any, they'll send them to us, and we'll look at them. Last one, number 8, is establish. It's a good one, y'all. Stay with this one. Establish a daily recharge regimen. Say that again for the people in the balcony. Establish a daily recharge regimen. Talk about that. What's up? Who's gonna talk about that?
I just want to say that mental health is very important, especially during these times, these stressful times with the pandemic. I looked up a statistic by the Mental Health Institute. It said 13 to 20% of students at some point in their life had experienced some type of mood disorder or mental disorder, I should say. And so, I mean, elevated now during these times, like I'm sure it's crazy, you know what I mean? So you have to be patient, and you have to establish mental health regimens. Find out what works for your child. Would they like yoga? Would they like taking on a new hobby, drawing? Maybe even Zooming with their friends on certain times of the day. Maybe they need that social interaction. Maybe it's praying, whatever that is for that child, to have that mental health. That's just, they need that. They need that, and it's important that it's implemented.
Make sure you give your child a day to do nothing. That is so
good.
important, especially in the beginning of the week where it's pretty hectic. Probably your Mondays or your Tuesdays. When they get off that camera and they get off that Zoom, don't push them straight into homework. Even though it's better because they have the knowledge and they can regurgitate it quickly. Sometimes it's just nice to say, get up, go watch TV. It's important because, I mean, even teachers, the parents need to do it as well. It's so important just to give yourself time to recharge because you're beating yourself down and you can't pour into something if you're not full. You just can't.
Okay.
And
Good.
that's
Hold on. Make sure my daughter didn't hear that part right there, because she's going to be talking about it.
I need a recharge.
Mr. Shaquille said,
go
let me
watch
watch TV before I do my homework. All right.
I was just gonna say that's something that I had to learn with my own daughter within the past year as she went into 3rd grade. And in 3rd grade, they start to get a little emotionalness too. Like, oh my goodness, it starts there. It really does. But I had to tell her, I said, okay, go ahead and take a break. Before, though, I didn't understand that really. I really didn't understand it. I was like, hey, Jara, just do your work so you can get it over with. But it stressed her out. I saw her stressed out. And so I said, okay, what can I do better? What can I do better? And so now I'll tell her, okay, when I see that she's stressed out, I say, go take a break. Not a long break, but go take some kind of break. You know what I mean? I don't want her to get complacent and not doing stuff, but it really works. It does. And she goes and she does usually flips or something in the room and cartwheels and stuff, and then she comes back and she's smiling and she's ready to go again. So
I was gonna say, my first year teaching, I had a veteran come and tell me, when you leave this school and you get home to your children, tell your children to give you 1 hour of unbothered, and my husband is laughing because he knows this is true, 1 hour of unbothered attention for mommy. And let me recharge, and then I'll be back in an hour. And what it does for you as a parent, it gives the kids their break as well as it gives you a break. Don't come home, kick your shoes off, and start cooking right away. No, go lay down on the couch for an hour, and you recharge yourself as well as giving the kids a chance to recharge, and then start right back up.
Yes. Get that day off of you before you start your second part.
Yeah, no, I think all that you guys said was important. Because home used to be the resting place. It used to be the, it used to be just the break. And now home and work and school is all under one roof. And so it's like, what's going on? So I do think those breaks are important.
Yeah, that's good. So, Mom, Dad, that nugget, that strategy of establishing a daily recharge regimen, it wasn't just for the kids, but it's for you too. So you can stay sane, because we already know it's stressful on your job, and then helping the kids. If you like me, listen, homework time is stressful for me. I don't understand. It's stressful, guys. I didn't know.
Math.
Why is it this stress? Yeah, math. That's all. And right now, that's all the homework she got.
It's the
I gotta
same.
go on YouTube, Google. We
It's the
fighting,
same
and she
thing every
crying,
day.
and I'm
Same
mad.
thing.
And you on punishment. She get on punishment every other day during math homework. Okay, but it's stressful. So you do need that time to decompress, and you got to put it in your schedule, or else the whole house is just going to be chaotic, right? So that's a good thing. All right, so if you're just now tuning in, we've been talking about strategies to excel in virtual learning. These amazing, inspiring educators, they came up with 8 strategies. I'll give them to you again. If you got any questions, I've already got some that they've sent me. Go ahead and put them in the feed now, and we'll get their thoughts and their perspectives. Number 1 was implement a morning routine. Number 2 was reinforce daily expectations. Number 3, demonstrate a parental-teacher united front. Number 4, maintain accountability through parental monitoring. Number 5, provide a separate and designated learning area. And number 6, collaborating with educational resources. Number 7, integrate daily reflection. And the last one was establish a daily recharge regimen. All right, let's go to our first question. We've got a couple they sent. Number 1, how do you all feel about the kids' eyes not being developed at such a young age to be on a computer that long?
I got this one.
Go ahead, everybody can chime in, whatever you got.
If you look, I have these glasses right here, and they're not prescribed, but they're called Blu-ray glasses. And now on Amazon, a lot of teachers have purchased these. Now I see that they have some specifically made for kids. My kids have prescriptions, so I made sure I got the Blu-ray glasses. There's also a Blu-ray shield that you can put in front of the computer. Also, it is on Amazon, and it helps with the eye development, and it helps them not to, strain their eyes as much. And just make sure you turn the brightness down on the, no, I don't remember. I'm not going to tell you that. But just make sure you just look up Blu-ray glasses and a computer shield on Amazon.
Good, that's good. Look, they said they ain't got nothing. That's it right there.
Powerful. I don't know nothing
Okay.
about no
Good job.
Look up
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray glasses.
Blu-ray glasses. Blu-ray.
and look at the Blu-ray
Yes.
shield. I've been working in front of a computer for 25 years. Why y'all didn't tell me that 25 years ago? Okay, I've been on the computer 8 out, 9, 10 hours a day. And now y'all just now telling me after I done went halfway blind. All right. Number 2, second question. What suggestions do you have for children that have a hard time focusing and paying attention?
We have for our kids some stress balls. You can go to the Dollar Tree and get like one of those little squishy balls, just something to keep their attention, and it helps them to focus also.
No, I was pointing at you because I knew you had that point, that great point right there.
one of the things that I've done with my youngest, who's 4, and then Jira 2, I changed the parental control settings on their tablets. So there's a curfew on their tablet as well. They're not able to access certain websites and apps during the time of school. So that kind of shuts down some of the distraction, because you're on the tablet, you have, free will to kind of navigate while the teacher talking. The teacher ain't gonna know. So, you know, just putting in those controls and settings in the tablet helps a lot. And also, you know, establishing that area again, you know, where there's no distraction, there's seclusion, you know, that works to their benefit.
I think background music kind of helps. I know it helps me. If I just have like music going in the background, not too loud, it helps me to focus. So
I think being a person who struggles with ADHD myself, one thing that I do is I provide myself breaks. So if I feel myself getting antsy, because I get antsy really quick, so I'll get up, I'll go walk around the house and then come back. Also, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, the teachers provide them brain breaks and have them get up and do the wiggles. I don't see why that's not effective for middle school or high school. I feel like that helps too. So just put a song on, do a dance, and then sit back down after like 10 minutes or something.
Cool. Well, good. Listen, I don't know about you, but I appreciate these educators. And before we close it out, give one nugget to mom and dad on the way out. One nugget, one strategy, one suggestion, one thought that we did not talk about tonight that you think that can motivate us and kind of remove a little pressure, remove a little anxiety, and just increase our faith that even in spite of the fact that this is a little bit different, it's not the best, you know, ideal situation, yet and still, it can still be successful as possible. Start with Catherine.
I would probably say students nowadays, they know cell phones. They don't necessarily know technology. They know how to work a cell phone, but like a computer might be a little different for them. So just kind of be patient with them. I would say just be patient with everybody in this whole process. Be patient with the teachers. Be patient with the students. Teachers, be patient with the parents. It's all brand new. So patience, grace and mercy.
Yeah. I always tell myself Rome wasn't built in a day. I always tell myself that. Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's important that we understand that we have to take it one day at a time. Stop thinking about the 6 weeks test. Stop thinking about the test you have next week. Stop thinking about everything that's just creating too many barriers for you to just really just focus on your day. So it's just one day at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and enjoy the process, because we are probably the first set of the first generation that's actually doing this. Be proud that you're the inaugural parent, student, teacher that's transitioning into this complete online platform for middle school, high school, and elementary.
Yeah. One day at a time. Okay, go ahead.
I would say to remind yourself as a parent and also to remind your children that you're striving for excellence, not perfection. Perfection is not attainable. So give yourself grace, give your children grace to grow. And excellence doesn't look the same for every child. So, you know, just whatever that looks like for your child, strive for that and push them to be the best that they are wherever that is.
Yeah, that's good.
I would say ask for help. There's nothing wrong to ask for help. We all need help in some area in our life. Just ask for help from the teachers, from your friends, just anybody. Ask for help. Help is needed.
I would say one thing that I'm focusing on is that every task that I face in my life, I already have the tools to be successful. So remember, I have my tools and I am graced for this season.
That's good. That's a good wrap up right there. Mom, dad, teacher, principal, vice principal, school board member, whoever you are, wherever you are, God is first in your life. You are graced for this season. A lot of pressure is going to come as we try to transition into this new normal of parenting, new normal of virtual learning, new normal of virtual teaching. The pressure is going to be there, the weight is going to be there, the anxiety is going to be there. But I think we can survive it all if we just know that we are graced for this season. Join us in a moment of prayer. God, we thank you for grace. Thank you for the grace that you give us as your children. God, even the mercy that comes along with it. God, getting what we don't deserve, not getting what we do deserve. We thank you for it, God, and we ask that you continue to pour it out, God, in this new uncharted waters, God, that we are about to endure, or we just began to endure, God. We need you in this season. We recognize, God, that we can't be sane without you, God. We won't be in our right mind. We won't make it. We won't survive. We acknowledge, God, that we need you. We need you on the school boards, God. We need you in the classrooms, God. We need you in the administrations, God. We need you with the teachers, God. We need you with mama. We need you with daddy. We need you with the kids. Every area of our life, every last one of us, regardless of where we are, what we're doing, we need you, God. Come into this land, God. Be with us. Give us a peace, God, that passes all understanding. Somehow, some way, you get the glory out of this situation, God. Anoint and touch the teachers, God, every day, God. Protect them and cover them. Give them wisdom. Give them knowledge, God, on how to train and prepare this next generation of leaders, God. Bless the students, God. Keep them focused during this season, God. Don't allow them to lack anything, God, as it comes to preparing for their destiny and their future, God. Bless the school boards, God. Give them wisdom and knowledge, God, on how to lead with integrity, God, and help them to be ethical in every decision and everything that they do, God. We pray that you will uproot demonic spirits, God. Every demon that's disguised as an educator, God, we pray that you will reveal them, expose them, and remove them out of their places, God, and replace them with people who represent you and call upon your name, God. We just pray that at the end of all of this, God, somehow, some way you get the glory, God. Let men be drawn unto you, and let your name be glorified in everything that we do and say, and we'll give you the honor and glory for it all. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank y'all for joining us on tonight. Mom, Dad, listen, share this with somebody. It's going to be right here on Facebook. It's going to stay right here on YouTube. Send this to your coworker. Send this to a family member, a sibling that got some kids, some teachers, some educators. God, just bless the world with what was given on tonight with these educators. Again, before we jump off, just put some hand claps right there in the feed. Just put your hands up, some emojis, some screaming, some shout. Educators, we thank you. School board, we thank you. Mom, we thank you. Principals, we thank you. Dad, we thank you. Kids, we thank you. And we believe that this is going to be the best year that you ever had, in Jesus' name. We love you. See you back here, same channel, different day, different time on Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. as we continue our series, Pressure. God bless you. Have a good night.